Is it now a 3-horse race for the Premier League title?
And Serie A's top 5 are just 4 points apart with 2 Milans on top. We're near the halfway mark and the Milans are being chased. All this and more on episode 103 of the No Business Soccer Podcast. Snooz, kick us off.
Let's dig in. Yes.
I thought I'd never hear it again.
Been a while. What is going on? Welcome to the No Business Soccer Podcast. We are back after almost a month, it feels like. I mean, I guess it is. It is almost a month. We had a lot of stuff going on. Holidays going on. I was, gallivanting. Is that a word that you want to use for that? I don't know. Around Europe. Saw a couple of games, which we'll get into. Had a lot of fun. And of course, it's good to be back here, though, Vic, because nothing's more comfortable than your own bed. And so, again, I am your host, Snooz, if this is your first time watching this podcast. We got J-Fam, the Brainiac, in the back. Danny P on the ones and twos. But everybody is here for Hype Man Vic. So, Hype Man Vic, what are you sipping on, dog?
While you were gallivanting around in Europe, I was gallivanting around here in Austin on the bourbon scene. I have a lot of new bottles to share with you guys. We will do it one by one, of course. But of course, this first one is going to be a store pick. Snooz, of course, you know what a store pick is, right? You know, the store owner
gets, you go to the store.
Yeah, go ahead. Explain it to us.
Yeah, well, you just go to the store and you pick it. So.
Not at all. So the store gets samples of certain bottles, or certain barrels. I'm sorry. They pick a barrel using a panel of people. And this is a short barrel pick that MB Liquors had. It used to be Everest Liquor. And one of the cool things about this is if you buy one of these, you get your name put in the raffle to win a very, very highly allocated bottle. George T. Stagg, of course. Snooz, you know what George T. Stagg is.
Of course, yes. And shout out MLB Liquors or whatever you said.
Yeah, MB Liquors. It's good. But yeah, this one's just right over home plate. It's a perfect ABV, and it's just creamy vanilla and toasted oak. It's absolutely amazing. So while I take a drink of this absolutely amazing elixir, cheers, everyone. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It's the best way to say, hey, YouTube, maybe these guys are pretty cool to listen to. So cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Oh, sorry. One more thing before you go. This glass, actually courtesy of your boy Blake Stevenson at Nerds at Night. He hooked it up with a glass for me.
Okay.
I got the decal guy, so we're gonna probably have some of these at some point too.
Hey, that's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool, actually. Okay, what's up? Shout out Blake. Actually, Blake, he's been a big inspiration of ours. He's always been on the ones and twos, whipping up podcasts and stuff. And we're just trying to be like you, man. Okay, well, we have not a full slate, but we have a lot to talk about, I guess I should say. Yes, I should say we have a lot to talk about, not a full slate. We're going to cover all the things that happened in the Prem Boxing Day, which there was not a lot going on Boxing Day. And then we also had a full weekend of Serie A as well. Talk a little bit about the trip, which we'll do right now. Why not? Because I went to Europe, caught a couple of matches over there, and had a lot of fun in the process. Of course, we went to Christmas markets, everything like that, Vic. It was a lot of fun going through Germany. But I will say, getting Bundesliga tickets, I think I said before I left, so hard, ridiculously hard. So, they keep their games, their culture to themselves, which is fine. That's amazing. But I need some German friends. We gotta get to the hookup because I absolutely wanted to go. I wasn't able to, though. Also, a lot harder to get around and do things when you have a 1-year-old. Didn't expect it to be as tough. I don't know why. I should have, but I was able to go see FC Basel take on Aston Villa, who we'll talk about later because Aston Villa has been absolutely tearing it up. Got to see it in the flesh, and yeah, they're pretty damn good. And then got to see, of course, Spurs take on Liverpool at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And yeah, flew all the way to London to watch my team get their ass kicked by Victor's team. So that was great. Yeah, that was a great time.
For a little while there, I'll just chime in on this. For a little while there, I think probably about like 60 minutes of that game, I was like, this is probably the worst Tottenham game to go to.
Yeah, it really
Especially
was.
to travel to. It was so bad for a while. And I was,
red card.
Charleston got it.
Yeah. I was just sitting there, and I took my cousin because we couldn't go with the baby, so the wife had to stay home. So I took my cousin, and she's sitting there on her phone, like, this is so boring. Like, yeah, because the crowd wasn't like, they were just silent, and I was just like, it's usually not like this, it's usually way more fun. But Vic, I will say I got you a couple things. We'll start off with this one here. I'm not keeping this one because my team got their ass whooped, but I got you the scarf, the Liverpool old school Liverpool December 20th against Tottenham Hotspur. So this will be sent to you or given to you the next time I see you, because I'm definitely not going to put this up. I don't need to remember that game, but you can remember the time I went to go see your team whoop my team's ass. You
remember when game day, or not game day, what's the equivalent to Premier League? Oh no, the show came here. Remember?
Like the mornings or whatever it's called, Premier League morning or whatever the hell it is.
I think it's under that. Maybe it's not, but I have a scarf from there too, and then I have another.
Yes, we also went to that one, so you could add this one to your collection, sir. And then before we get into the games, the last gift I have for my boy, of course, he said he wanted one, and I delivered.
Let's go. I am on my way. I'll be there.
It is not a kit, but it is a,
there
we go.
My little goats.
It's so cute. So there's your Cone shirt right there. It's pretty cool, man.
Appreciate it.
I never realized it in the badge because I've never seen it blown up, but this is the cathedral.
Oh, shoot,
the massive cathedral that's there.
I saw you post that.
Cool. Yes, cool. Very cool. And so that will also be yours as soon as I see you in the flesh. So there you go. Merry Christmas, sir.
Thank you. I'm a lucky boy.
Yeah, I don't know why you said it that way. But okay. Any other things before we jump into this weekend's fixtures?
All good here.
No? Okay. Well, let's do it. Let's start in Italy.
Let's do it. To Serie A. Oh, you saw the finger, right? You saw the
you saw the finger. Okay. Put the finger up. Let's start off with some news and notes before we jump into the leagues. First piece of news coming out of Serie A: the plans to stage a Serie A game between Milan and Como in Perth, Australia, have been abandoned, and this is according to an article I read from The Athletic. So a joint statement was put out from the league's president, that's the Serie A League president, and the government of Western Australia. The cancellation was attributed to unmitigable, that's a weird word, unmitigable financial risks, onerous approval conditions, and last-minute complications, particularly citing unacceptable demands from the Asian Football Confederation. The Athletic reported in June that Serie A was in talks over staging a match originally scheduled for February 8th, and the stadium in Perth just couldn't work out. This actually does come. It's funny, though. It comes after a similar event was supposed to be staged by La Liga in Miami in October. That similarly was canceled as well. There was protests in Italy, not as much as there was in Spain about this, but both were canceled. We were wondering how that would affect it. Essentially, what was going on is they were taking an actual Serie A and an actual La Liga match and coming overseas to, Australia and then also in the States and hosting those games there. It was obviously to get more eyes on these specific leagues. And they're bringing in teams that were think about it. You get to see Milan, which has a big name already, take on Como, which is one of the more up-and-coming teams in not only Serie A, but they have big names behind them. As far as the ownership with Thierry Henry, Cesc Fabregas is the coach. And then, of course, you have Nico Paz, Asandio, just other players that are really good for them. It would have been cool to see their growth, but do you really want to take from the culture and from the ultras that are there day in and day out? Apparently not, and I'm all for it. That's cool. Same thing with the way that it was going to be Barcelona versus Villarreal in Miami. Didn't happen, and there's a lot of protests in Spain about that, basically taking what is theirs and sending it overseas, and as if America needed more reasons to be hated by Europeans. So Didn't happen, though, so you can't hate us anymore. That is the first piece of news. Second piece of news does involve our Fiorentina. Fiorentina have reached out to Spurs' Fabio Pratici. Pratici? That is a tough last name to say. Pratici. That is how you say it. I've said it for years, and for some reason, Pratici. To take over as their sporting director, as their previous one, Daniele Prade, left by mutual agreement back in November. Mutual agreement. They're horrible right now. Fiorentina are trying to do anything and everything they can to stop their skid, as they currently sit bottom of Serie A, only one win through 17 games. Not looking good for our Fiorentina, but they are trying to get Fabio Paratici, who he was suspended for a while because of a lot of shady stuff going on with Juve when he was there. But the people that he brought over were really good for Spurs, and they're all injured right now, which is really sucky. But anyway, good for them if they can get that over the line. Okay, Vic, let's do it. Let's jump into the games.
All right, well, let's jump in, and we will start with your top matches and headlines for Serie A in match day 17. And, of course, Captain America scores again, so let's talk about it as Milan handle Verona 3-0.
That is right. That's how you do it, Milan. Pulisic gets a goal assisted by Modric. Nkunku scores twice. Italians start to love Americans just a little bit more every time Captain America scores, and we are all about it here at the No Business Soccer Podcast. Milan continue their push for that top spot, but the real reason that this match is the top spot, because there wasn't a whole lot of fun games to watch in Serie A, but the reason why this is one is because the rumors surrounding our Captain America, our Christian Pulisic, there's rumors that he is dating Sydney Sweeney, which that's pretty nice. Very nice.
And that does it for your top matches and headlines for Serie A match day 17. Of course, has Snooz, as you said, not a lot. There was a lot of business as usual in Serie A. So Milan was our top match day. But let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the matches. And one of the good things about being on break is that we didn't have to watch our Fiorentina continue to sink to the bottom. But here we are back, and Parma beat Fiorentina 1-0.
No, I'll say this about being in the States and watching European football. It's actually way better to watch it here because like over there, the games aren't starting until at least 11. And then it kind of goes on, like games are starting at 10 p.m. So like here, I get to watch all the games and recaps and everything before the day's even done. Like I have my notes and everything before bedtime. There, I would watch one game and it's just like, oh, wait, it's already 9 or whatever, right? It's already time to take the baby and put her down and all this stuff. So anyway, I'm glad to be back and be able to watch it here, which sounds weird. Like you'd think you'd want to watch it there. But I feel like when we start making our tours overseas to do games in live games in real life, I don't know why I had to say both those. But anyway, it'll be like focusing on one league where we can actually see the games because, man, it is hard to watch all of them at once when you're over there. So anyways, let's jump into this as I complain no more. Parma were the better team and deserve the win here. Fiorentina are broken right now and are just playing uninspired football at the moment. There's no real fight in them, and outside of a couple good chances, they were bad. Parma, though, starting to put some distance between themselves and the bottom three. But if you watch the match, Fiorentina, after they let in that first goal, well, there's only one goal, but after they let in that goal, you can just see their heads drop. Their whole demeanor just changed after winning a game last weekend. So, yeah, don't know what's going on with our team, but hopefully they can turn it around.
Yeah, and we continue on with Saturday as Cagliari come out on top in the battle for 13th, beating Torino 2-1.
Torino went ahead early, but Cagliari came back to get the win. And I promise you, if you watch Cagliari's second goal, you will not be disappointed. Or check out our shorts. I'm sure we'll end up having it in there. Probably. I'm not sure if we will. Actually, I know that we won't because I didn't put that in there. So don't mind that. Anyway, ridiculous solo goal that we had and had me yelling the entire time, Vic. Like it was one of those where he keeps running and you keep saying like, pass the freaking ball. He didn't. And he ends up scoring. It was really fun to watch.
And our next matchup had Como jumping up to 6th place as they handle the Milkmen of Lecce 3-0.
Como were dominant, and it was, again, my man crush, Nico Paz, early and often that led them to a much-needed 3 points after losing back-to-back games, and their run towards Europe is back on, and we are excited to see.
Also on Saturday, we had a mid-table matchup between Udinese and Lazio that ended in a goal apiece, a point apiece, 1-1.
Our Lazio were seconds away from getting all 3 points in this one, but Keenan Davis gets the ball in the box for Udinese. He dances around a bit with defenders all around him, and he curls a quick fire shot into the back of the net. It was sexy stuff, and what a clutch finish from Davis.
And we ended Saturday with a 2-0 win for Juve over Pisa. And don't look now, Juve is only 4 points out of first place.
Oh, okay. Juve didn't play a good game here, though, which is fine because they keep winning. But they were talented enough to still come away with 2 goals and a clean sheet. And, of course, all 3 points. Weston McKennie gets an assist. Yildiz gets the second goal. And they go back to Turin with a dub. Also, one of the headlines from this one is Yildiz scores. And if you watch the highlights back, you'll see that he does a celebration where he made like it was a star with his hands. I've been trying to do it ever since I saw it, and I cannot figure it out. So go watch it.
And then we moved on to Sunday, as Sunday started with our top matchup of the week that we already spoke about. So we move on to Napoli taking the 2-0 dub over Cremonese.
And before the match, in case you didn't watch it, I would say the famous Jamie Vardy was awarded the Player of the Month for November. And before this game started, which is insane. I didn't know that was happening. I guess he was really good in November. I'll have to go back and see what exactly he did. But that's just insane. Jamie Vardy, of all people, for Cremonese. Anyways, let's jump into the match. Napoli bullied Cremonese, and Højlund was a menace all day. Yes, that Rasmus Højlund that used to be not very good for Manchester United. The stats show that Napoli had 18 shots, and I would bet that Højlund probably had 10 of those shots minimum. So, yeah, dude was feeling it. Napoli gets the win.
And then Sunday continued with a 1-1 draw between Bologna and Sassuolo.
Bologna looked a little sleepy as they draw at home to Sassuolo, and really, Sassuolo had them on the ropes late in the game, but it just couldn't find that finish. The draw means that Bologna have now only won once in their last 5 Serie A matches.
And then Sunday ended with Inter getting a tough 1-0 win over Atalanta, and that keeps them in first place.
It was a hard-fought battle between these two, and in the end, it was an Atalanta mistake on a bad back pass that leads to Lautaro Martinez's goal, and it's 4 wins in a row for Inter, and they keep their grip on the top spot at least for another weekend. Or another week.
And then another week,
Sorry,
and then we
bad.
move on. It's okay. We move on to Monday Night Football as Roma came out swinging and beat Genoa 3-1.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the end of this game, but I know that it was 3-0 the last time I saw it. So Genoa ended up getting a goal. But when I was watching it, it was 3-0. Roma were running away with it, and it was over by halftime. And yeah, this game wasn't even close. Roma continue to do their thing, even though they have slipped up since the last time we had a show. They've kind of fallen down the table a bit, but I'm sure they'll pick it back up. And they start off with this 3-1 win. There you go.
Yeah, they were actually, when we left, they were in first. They were in first place. True. Roma was, and then we came back. They go all the way down to, I think, fourth. Is it fourth? Yeah, fourth place with that win that they.
That's not too far back. I guess I was looking at the table this weekend before they won, so they were like 6th or something like that. So good to know. Those 3 points did them good.
They did. And speaking of the table, look at that producer in the back. We take a look after match day 17. Sort of. There's a few games on there. There's still a couple teams that are 6 teams that have a game in hand, but you have Inter Milan up top. They have 36 points in the number 1 spot, followed by the other Milan. Milan have 35 points with Captain America, of course. In the number 2 spot, Napoli are in the number 3 spot with 34 points. All 3 of these teams have a game in hand on Roma, who occupy our 4th spot with 33 points, best number in the world. And then, like I said earlier, Juve with 32 points, just 4 points out of the lead. Of course, Inter still have a game in hand, but they round out our top 5. Actually, they're tickling the top 4. We're rusty. We're getting there. We're rusty. They have the Europa League spot right now. But yeah, speaking of our teams that are not speaking of any kind of European competition, if we take a look at the bottom of the table, you have Verona with 12 measly points there in the 18th spot, one of the first teams to be relegated if the season ended today. Pisa are in the number 19 spot with 11 points, and then our Fiorentina is still holding up the rest of the table with 9 points. All 3 teams doing their best to stay in the relegation zone, all getting losses this past weekend or in their last game, so not looking good for them. Fiorentina, you'll get a new sporting director. Maybe they'll figure it out. Yeah,
pick it up. Okay. Well, I don't have a whole lot to add to that. Good to see Como bounce back. Ready to see them make a title run. I didn't realize that there are matches in hand, though. So they might start to get a little gap there if they can win those games. But I wonder what the matches are that they have in hand. I was trying to figure that out because we have Verona, Lecce, Parma. So, I mean, you got to think that some of those inter matches probably are against some of the bottom teams there. So probably got 3 points. Okay. Well, let's keep this train moving. Let's go on to England.
All right. Let me shine this up. Get this ready for juices in there. All right.
Whoa. Okay. Hey, I
don't read too much into that. To the Prem.
Got a nice.
I did get it in the middle there. I did my very best, not just like straight up jack off my finger on it. So I did admirably good. Okay, you guys. So.
I don't know if it was admirably good, but okay. News and notes from the Prem. It was an emotional night in Liverpool as Wolves traveled to Anfield to take on Liverpool, as they were the two Premier League sides that Diogo Jota was a part of in the Prem. Both sets of fans took turns singing their respective Jota songs. The Wolves players laid flowers down at Anfield for Jota, and they had his kids walk out as mascots before the match. Beautiful tribute to his family, his kids, and tears and craziness going all around. It's hard to fathom that type of loss, and it's only been, I mean, it was in the summer, right? So 6 months ago, and or maybe less, a little bit more, I can't remember, but either way, crazy stuff, and really cool to see the fans come together. Some things are bigger than the sport, and it felt like this was one of those moments. Vic, anything to add before I move on? Because I didn't get to watch it live. I saw all of it after.
No, I mean, most of the pomp and circumstance was in the not pomp and circumstance. Most of the tribute was actually during the game, during the 18th and 20th minute, of course, when they're singing the songs and everything. His kids got to come out with Virgil, our captain, and walk the field afterwards as well. It was a good, touching moment, and but we'll probably do it again and do it again and do it again. So,
rightly so. And then the next piece of news, I don't know if this athletic report came out just to troll Arsenal or not, Vic, but there was an article that read, in the Premier League era, leading at Christmas has not always meant getting the job done in May. Why this is a thing now and not any of the other years, don't know. But those that have topped the table, it goes on to read, those that have topped the table on December 25th have gone on to be crowned champions in 17 and only 17 of the past 33 seasons, meaning just under half of the league leaders at this stage have been piped to the post. And it goes on to dig into the data and other teams and shows you things like that. But either way, worrying times, I guess, if you read this article and you are an Arsenal fan. So not sure why this came out. Maybe it was done by a Spurs supporter. I wouldn't doubt it. But either way, funny article to read at this point. It's basically saying like, Arsenal thinks they're going to win it. But just know that most people don't win the league when they're leading at Christmas. Okay. That is your news and notes for the Prem. Vic, let's jump into the matches.
Let's do it. And we'll start with your No Business Soccer podcast top match for match day 18. And it was Aston Villa continuing their historic run to make it 11 straight with authority, beating Chelsea 2-1.
That's right, Vic. Aston Villa extends their winning streak to 11 games in all competitions with the win over Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, no less. And it was a typical Unai Emery fashion, with them getting battered in the first half, but only down a goal. And then they analyze, they make adjustments, and then they dominate the second half with an Ollie Watkins brace. What a run for Villa. And they are definitely, at this point, dark horses for the Premier League title, as I mentioned in the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah, no better team right now. Nobody on a better run than Aston Villa. And that is our only match for match day 18. Again, there's a bunch of the same in the Premier League. Also, maybe we're just a little rusty. We'll get some more matches for you guys once all the leagues drop and everything like that. But we can go ahead and bounce right into the rest of the match day. And it started on Friday with step one out of a possible haircut for our least hated Man United fan, as Man U beat Newcastle 1-0.
And it was a bit controversial since the Boxing Day Premier League schedule has traditionally been stacked with all types of games up and down the coast. But this year, we only got one match, and it was an okay one as United get an early goal and are able to stave off Newcastle, who continue to struggle in the Prem. But again, I don't know. How many wins in a row is this for them, Vic?
Who, Man U?
Yeah. Is this the first one?
Yeah,
it was one. Okay, sorry.
Step one.
I didn't. That's what you meant. Okay, yeah, sorry. So a team gets their first win in the streak, and we don't get any more Boxing Day games. But it was weird, I guess, because Boxing Day was on Friday. It was a big controversy that they're like, oh, you don't want to do it on Boxing Day like tradition because you want the money from the weekend and blah blah blah. It was a big deal in the UK. But either way, we got one game, and it was okay. It was okay. Like, we got more the next day, so it's fine.
Yeah, and like you said, we move on to Saturday. Saturday started with Man City continuing their run of form as they beat Nottingham Forest 2-1.
Ryan Cherky continues to break out with a goal and an assist as City get a 2-1 win over Forest. Everyone knew that Ryan Cherky had quality, but being at Lyon for so long, we weren't sure if it would translate to the top clubs, and it looks like he's going to be just fine with City, and it's really cool to see him getting it done because we knew early this season that Tijani Reinders was going to be amazing, but it looks like Cherky is going just right down that path as well. There you go. That's what I wanted.
And our next matchup had Fulham taking advantage of a poor West Ham side, getting the win 1-0.
Misery continues for West Ham, their misery business, some would say, as they seem destined to split the points with Fulham until a whiffed clearance falls to Harry Wilson, who puts the ball on a platter for one Raul Jimenez to head home. It's now 3 wins in a row for Fulham and 3 losses in a row for West Ham.
And then continuing on with Saturday, Brentford continued to climb the ranks with a 4-1 beating over Bournemouth.
Bournemouth's plummet down the table continues as they get blown out by Brentford at the G-Tech. Kevin Shada, I don't know how to say that name well, but I think it's Shada. His perfect hat trick seals the deal and leaves the Cherries without a win in their last 5 Premier League games. And just in case you were wondering, Snooze, what exactly is a perfect hat trick? That's whenever you score with your left foot, your right foot, and a header.
Not bad. All around. And then our next matchup had the reigning, defending Premier League champions picking up another dub, even if it is against a historically poor Wolverhampton side. Hey, we need it. Doesn't matter. 2-1.
That was a longer intro than absolutely needed. Liverpool beat the worst team in the league. Sure, whatever. But the main headline here is that my man, Florian Wirtz, gets his first Liverpool goal. Amazing stuff. Love the guy. Don't like the team, but it is what it is.
And then our next matchup had Brighton still in the giving mood from Christmas, as scoring an own goal is enough to gift Arsenal all 3 points.
Odegaard hit a perfect shot from outside the box. Diego Gomez, he scores one late after an own goal goes in from a Declan Rice corner. And man, just feels like everything is going Arsenal's way this season. This should be their time to shine.
And also, just a note, this match was won by David Raya, the Arsenal keeper. Had an absolute world-class save in the 77th minute. Snooze always talks about boner balls. He loves boner balls, but that was a boner save. That was absolutely amazing.
Fair enough.
I watched it over and over again. But I did want to talk about that David Raya save a little more because our next matchup had nothing to talk about. Burnley and Everton draw 0-0.
Yeah, we can't talk about those here. So, a point apiece. Sure. That's good. Way to go.
And then a Saturday ended with your No Business Soccer podcast top matchup of the week we talked about already. So let's go to Sunday, as it started with a 1-1 draw between 2 teams that only have 2 losses now in the last 12 games, at least between them, Sunderland and Leeds.
Sunderland were able to hold off a late rally from Leeds to split the points, but Leeds will feel like they could have gotten more from this one. Either way, the point leaves them 7 points clear of the drop zone and starting to grow that gap for Leeds. So, hey, we're getting there. We might have 2 teams that stay up.
And then our match day ended with a 1-0 win for Snooze's Tottenham Hotspurs that propelled him to first. Wait, hold on.
Shut up.
Oh, no, there was a smudge on my screen. There's 2 1s. 11th place.
All right. Archie Gray's header calms the storm circling Spurs at the moment as they get their 7th win of the season. Woohoo! Late in the game, you felt the momentum shift to Palace, and their fans created an incredible atmosphere, but it was not meant to be, and Spurs bounce back from back-to-back defeats in the Prem. It's a lot of backs there. How many times can I say back? But yeah, we got some points. Let's do this. And yeah.
And those are your matches from Premier League Matchday 18. If we could go ahead and bring up the table, we'll take a look. Because, again, like I said earlier, the only constant has been that Arsenal is still on top. They have 42 points in the number 1 spot. Then you have Manchester City with 40 points in the number 2 spot. And then your 11 win in a row, Aston Villa in the number 3 spot with 39 points, continuing to climb the ranks. The hottest team in Premier League right now. And then you have Liverpool somehow in the top 4. I'll take it with 32 points. What a drop off there, 7 points behind Aston Villa to round out your top 4. And then you have Chelsea, who are tickling the top 4, taking that Europa League spot with 29 points in the number 5 spot. Tied with them, just an honorable mention, is Man U, who also have 29 points. And if we look at the bottom of the table, you'll see West Ham would be one of the first teams eliminated if the season ended today. Relegated, not eliminated. They have 13 points in the number 18 spot. Burnley are behind them with 12 points in the 19th spot. And then, oh my goodness, Wolverhampton Wanderers still no win on the board. 2 measly points, a solid base for the Premier League table. Yeah, they're not going anywhere. They're going to stay right there in the number 20 spot for sure.
Right there in there.
Yeah, historically bad. It's pretty tough times for Wolverhampton fans.
It's good table though in the Prem. No, I feel like everything's up for grabs. It felt like last season the title was up, and it felt like the top 4 were pretty solid. Like there wasn't going to be anybody get in there. We got some good races going on. You know, got some good.
Not bad.
Battles,
Top three is getting interesting. I mean, if one of those teams, Man City or Arsenal, slip up and Aston Villa continue, can you imagine seeing Aston Villa on top there? I mean, they got a little goal difference.
That'd be really crazy. I got to see them play FC Basel, like I mentioned earlier, and in the Europa League, and to see them go out with a side that didn't have, well, for instance, they were playing a game that they were rotating their side, so their starters were in, but the starters weren't in for some positions, but they were still dominant. And of course, you know, Basel's not going to be as good as Chelsea and other teams, but either way, like after halftime, to see them sub on Ollie Watkins, Yuri Tillemans, and Morgan Rogers, you're just like, this is ridiculous. Like this side is so good, and they have depth up and down the team from the front. I mean, at least in the midfield, they're super stacked. And it ended up being the substitutes that won the game that I was at for the Europa League match against Basel. And then also, Ollie Watkins, he started this match and he gets the brace. So I don't know, man. I just remember the beginning of the season, they were the last team in England to score a goal. Like not just the Prem. I mean, the entire England, they were the last team to score, and they had lost like 5 straight. And we're just like, wow, this team sucks. And now they are dark horse candidates and 11 wins in a row. So really cool stuff from Aston Villa. And I think tomorrow, well, by the time you see this, it'll be Tuesday. So today they take on Arsenal in the Prem. So, God, it's going to be a good game to watch. And I think that is it. I will say, I doubt we're going to have a show on Thursday because it is New Year's. Probably going to see us on Monday, and we'll recap everything. And so, yeah, Vic, I think that's it. Take us home, sir.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to begin with. And then also, it was good to have you back here for this second. We hope you enjoyed your time talking about some European football with us. And of course, be sure to like and subscribe on everything. And everything's at the No Business Soccer Podcast, except for TikTok, except for Twitter or X, if that's what you call it. That is at No Biz Sock Pod, because those names were way too damn long. Everyone, enjoy your New Year's holiday, and we will talk to you all very soon.
Peace.
Peace.